Hello everyone, welcome back to Brazil. Today is first versus third in the Brazilian league as Internacional take on Vasco da Gama. It's a home match for Inter, so it should be something to our advantage at the very least. Of course, virtual football still able to welcome spectators into the grounds, unlike real life. We've got some selection decisions to make here today. Iago is not looking too bright form-wise, and also he's looking a little bit tired. However, this is first versus third. We've only got one more game after this until the transfer window breaks. So I'm going to take a risk and keep Iago on the pitch. However, what I will do is I will take one of these two centre backs off and replace them with Gallardo. So we do have a left back option on the bench in case we need it. I think Cuesta's going to make way for him there. In the centre midfield, we've got another issue. Nonato not in the best form. However, fortunately for us, we have a couple of players to pick from that will be able to do an absolutely bang up job. And of course, you know, I know, it's going to be Patrick. So Patrick gets the start in midfield. And up front, Hulimar has just fallen off of a cliff, it seems like. So he's going to get replaced today with... I think we're going to go with Suarez. Suarez gets the nod. And that is going to be that. All of those players, of course, will be available to us from the bench. So if we do need them, if things go a little bit tits up, then we do have the option to bring them on from the bench. So we are at the moment top of the league. We have a decent gap between us and second. I think it's 3 points. If memory serves, it might be more than that. We'll have another quick look at the end of this match just to see what the state of play is in the league. But we've, so far so good, we've established our dominance once again in domestic competition. We started off this year, of course, by winning the Brazilian Cup, which is the first stage along the road for the treble. And if, of course, you want to count the little pre-season tournament that we were involved in, you could even count it as a quad, but I'm not going to. I think it's a treble. It's a long way to go until we can safely say that we're on track for that, though. For anyone paying any attention or wanting to know, this is the first game that we will be playing in the new 1.8 patch version of the game. I've seen some criticism for it. The True Brits did a video regarding it, and his first match, he was on the he wasn't on the receiving end at all. He benefited from an absolutely amazing own goal. Definitely worth checking that out. If anyone wants to check out the True Brits, you can find him very easily. I'm sure most of you are already aware of him. He's one of the very much established PES YouTubers. Only thing I'm really noticing at this stage is that the players are not necessarily taking the best first touches. Other than that, it's playing fairly similarly. Go on, Lopez. He can't get onto it. It's been shepherded out of play. Goes behind for a goal kick. Decent pass completion stats so far. Not seeing anything too heinous from the AI. We'll keep an eye on it as we continue. Pikachu. Let's hope he doesn't have a shocker. I'm the king of the dad jokes. Inside to Guerrero. Plays it up to Lopez. Lobs it out to Velasco on the wing. He's waiting for someone to make themselves available. Someone is Guerrero. No. I was hoping to get Lopez to take the shot, but he just kind of slide tackled the ball. instead. Here's Patrick. He's going to have a crack from long distance. It's just wide of the post. Good effort. Don't think it was ever going to test the goalkeeper, in fairness to him. Here's Vasco da Gama now on the right hand side. Rafael into Romulo. Pikachu once again out to Felipe Bastos. And that's taken care of, and now Iago can bring the ball up this side of the pitch. Plays it into the centre. Patrick picks it up neatly. Plays it back across to Velasco. Velasco loses the ball, however. Bastos on it now, looking for a pass. Plays it back to Romulo. They're playing with the ball down the right-hand side here, Vasco da Gama. I don't know if they've spotted a particular weakness in the Inter ranks, or if this is just a case of Vasco being stronger down the right-hand side naturally. I'm noticing a few more tiny mistakes from the AI. The likes of throw-ins that are just a little bit too sloppy. Things like that, which adds a level of realism to the game which was missing at this difficulty level. And the ball doesn't stick to the feet quite as much if you misplace a pass, which is cool to see. Good pressing from the front men. And the ball's played long forward. Mailton gets a touch on it. And I don't like that. Oh, hello! I didn't like what I saw there. Mailton forced to run for the ball. Here's Guerrero! Oh, it's great save from the goalkeeper. We'll get back to that thought in a minute as Andre brings the ball out for Vasco da Gama. Patrick wins the ball down the right-hand side. Crosses into the centre, takes a slight deflection. Yeah, the first touch for players isn't as clean as it once was, and I don't mind that at all. I think that only replicates football, real football, in a more realistic light, so that's fine. But yeah, going back to my thoughts there about what I didn't like seeing there was the fact that there was a player ahead of Mailton who could very easily have just picked the ball up, and I did try selecting them, but for whatever reason I couldn't, and that is annoying when seemingly, you know, if you were uncharitable towards Konami and PES in general, you would say that that was scripting, that somehow they were trying to make it a little bit more difficult for you by forcing you to try and play out with the right back. Oh, that's a loose pass. It goes out of play. Vasco da Gama to throw it in. I'm not going to say that, but what I will say is that they really need to try to work on, because I used the right stick as well. It wasn't just using L1 to try and select the man ahead of him to get the ball. I tried using the right stick, which, as you all know, if you use the stick, hang on, just deal with that header. There we go, lovely. If you use the right stick and you point it in the direction of the player that you want to select, it will do that job, and it didn't for me on that occasion. So there we go, at half time it's 0-0. Players trying to get used to the new status quo, but it has been a good half for Inter. 2 shots, 1 on target. Vasco da Gama not able to get a single attack on the go. Good to see. I hope for more of that in the second half, but I think Inter need to be more ruthless in the final third. They've not really, despite the fact that they've had a couple of shots, they've not really had anything that was cut and dry. There was a brilliant save made by the goalkeeper, which we all saw in that first half, but nothing that looked to me like it absolutely should have gone in. Here we are, Rodriguez into Patrick, Velasco, Suarez. Guerrero couldn't quite get to it. Here's Lopez. Just wasn't expecting it when it fell to him. It's good again. Inter the team doing the pressing here. Is Guerrero, plays it through to Lopez. This is surely an opportunity for 1-0, and it is. Lopez opens the scoring in the 52nd minute. of this intriguing match between first and third. It was his alertness to the loose ball that created the opportunity to begin with. We'll see here on the replay a very loose pass that fell to his feet, played it into Guerrero, started making his run. Guerrero feeds it through, and then in typical Lopez style, with the outside of the left boot, finds the space between the post, the near post, and the goalkeeper, and didn't even no backlift either. I think that's part of the reason why the goalkeeper was beaten so easily, was he didn't expect the shot to come when it did. 1-0 to Inter, and the way that this match has been going so far, Vasco are going to have to do much better to get back into this now. It's Miranda out to Franca on the right hand side. Felipe Bastos now, who I always thought of as a fullback, but he's playing in a much more advanced role today. Oh, that's lovely. I like that a lot. Let's go back to that. Not game plan, thank you. We want replay. Look at this. I love this. Absolutely love this. So the ball is played inside. And I thought that I was going to be able to maybe nick ahead of him. I hit the X button to pass it backwards. He gets the touch, and then he slides to get his toe onto the ball to pass it back. What a lovely little passing move that was. It's these little things that you don't notice in previous builds, and then you finally, you play the new build, and suddenly you're seeing these new things. There's a foul off the ball there. Inter might get that called back if they give the ball away in the next few passes. I don't really want to give it away though. Patrick into Velasco. Wide out onto the right hand side to Mailton. Back into Lopez. Through ball to Guerrero, but it can't make its way through. And Diego Carlos is just going to shepherd this out of play for an Inter throw-in. Yeah, I have to say, I'm really liking 1.08 or Data Pack 8, I think it's called, in common circles. So far, it's not done anything to piss me off. I think that's the main thing. Obviously, mileage will vary. Guerrero can't get ahead of his man. But yeah, mileage will vary on data packs. If you have a terrible first impression, first experience of it, then of course you're going to think that it's terrible. And the same goes this way round as well. I'm having oh, hang on. Andre might get to... No, he doesn't quite manage it. I'm having a really good first experience with this data pack. So, of course, I'm going to think that it's a decent upgrade, especially on data pack 7, which just kind of made everything feel a little bit loose, but in a bad way. Oh, that's good use of his body there from Lopez. And now Guerrero does a pretty decent job of shielding it, although he can't beat off the second defender. Yes, I just did say beat off the defender. Good sliding pass back to Diego Carlos from Schurz there. Cheeky little lobbed pass. Here's Rodriguez. Lots of space down the right. Can't find the pass though, it's a shame. That's alright though. Got his body in the way. Here's Mailton. He's going to look for a cross into the middle. Guerrero on the chest. Second chance. Oh my word. What a lovely take from Guerrero. It's so unfortunate he couldn't find the finish. I was trying to get him to head the ball, but obviously the AI for the player took over a little bit, and he thought to himself, I've got a better chance if I chest this down. And I'm very glad that he did. Oh, that's a good overlap. Carlos bearing down on Andre, and he wins the tackle. Well played, sir. 77 minutes on the clock. I've neglected my substitutions yet again. We only get 3 in this league, unlike the Premier League where the mollycoddled millionaire players are allowed 5. Gallardo's going to come on for Iago. He's done a very good job, Iago, but I just want to freshen things up at the back a little bit. And there's not much else to be done, to be honest. Might bring on Eden Nielsen for Patrick, just to... Oh, then again, maybe I could do it for Velasco. because Patrick does have the ability to stick his foot in. Velasco not so much, and it would give us a bit more speed in that final third. Okay, Eder Nielsen coming on for Velasco then. Both players make their appearances from the bench. And the throw in from George Boyd. What's he doing in Brazil? I think it's George Boyd anyway. Great strength by the defender. Wins the ball. Reverse through ball. I love that. Oh, and Suarez can't quite keep to it. Gallardo wins the ball. Franca picks it up. The loose ball in midfield. Rodriguez gets his foot in the way. And Patrick. I'm loving this. I'm loving how bitty it feels. I know not everyone will like that, but there's something about it that gives it a realism. Eder Nielsen! Oh, Eder Nielsen! Where did he come from? And what an inspired substitution it was. I can't take any credit for that. It's the player, the AI controlling him, that got him into that position, and his raw speed allowed him to pull away from the defender there. And look, there's absolutely no one near him. He just lashes it home. 2-0 to Inter, and first impressions of Data Pack 8 are I'm absolutely loving it. Just like a McDonald's. Da 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 da. Well, my oh my. Pikachu comes off. Today he did not have a shocker. There's the second dad joke and the last one of the episode. I apologise to anyone that's offended by the dad jokes. Raul. Here's Gonzalez. Won by Mailton, but the referee picks it up, takes it back for a foul. Mailton just a little bit too eager to stick his foot in there. I didn't see too much wrong with it myself. He gets the ball, and the player just kind of trips over the leg, really. There we go. I suppose 2-0 up with this little time left. I'm not going to complain too much. Bastos flights it in. Schur's underneath. Decent header. Oh dear, oh dear. No, that's all right. We've managed to... Oh dear. No, we've lost it again. Patrick needs to do his defensive duties here. Can't quite get to it in time. Mailton wins the ball. Plays it through to Lopez, and there could be an Inter break here. Suarez. Guerrero. Oh, Guerrero's collected by the defender. And it's not a foul according to the referee. I struggle to see why not. Patrick wins the ball. And again, Inter come bursting forward. Here's Suarez. Back to Guerrero. Plays it backwards in the absence of anything else that he could do. Oh, Guerrero tried to shape his body to give himself an opportunity for the second touch shot. Doesn't come off, but what does go is the final whistle. It's final score here of Internacional 2, Vasco da Gama 0. A very entertaining game, some really encouraging stuff to be seen there. And I would say overall, this unofficial review of Data Pack 8 in progress, I'm liking it. I am really liking it. Of course, mileage, as I've said before, there was the excellent save from the goalkeeper from Guerrero. Good reactions, got down quickly, close to his body, but the reaction time to get down was absolutely phenomenal. Lopez with his typical goal there with the outside of the left foot that gave Inter the lead. But yeah, so far I have to say Data Pack 8 is, for me at least, not too bad at all. I'm enjoying it. Now, that may change in time, and of course I'm playing in the Brazilian Campeonato at the moment. The quality of some of the players isn't the best. I cannot speak to how the experience is. Oh, that was a fantastic effort there from Guerrero. Can't speak for the experience when playing with top-line Premier League players, and how it would be in Champions League competition and things like that. Maybe down the line, you all know, of course, that we're looking to potentially move on after this brief sojourn in the sun in Brazil. Maybe we'll move to a dominant European country and see how this data pack affects things there. But That's it. As far as this match is concerned, the stats super encouraging, not allowing a single shot to be taken against us. 5 shots of our own, 3 on target, 2 of them finding the back of the net. We were not as busy in the passing department as Vasco, but it's what you do with possession which is more important than how much you have. We all learnt that from Leicester's heroics of a few years ago. And there we go, 50% possession each, but Inter much better at using it. Let's have a look at the ratings. Lopez with the man of the match. Paulo Guerrero with a 7. Eder Nilsson with a 7. And I can't believe Gallardo's been done like that. You've done him dirty with a 4.5, PES. What the hell? Good Lord Almighty. There's no way that Gallardo was the worst player on the entire pitch, especially since he had so little to do. Let's have a look at the rest of the scores from the Campeonato, match day 13 today. And how does that affect the top of the league? The gap has increased. It's a 7-point gap between Internacional and Sao Paulo now. Vasco da Gama still in third place with Ponte Preta and Botafogo fairly close behind. Both of those teams can overtake if results go their own way in the next match day. Vasco da Gama not secure by a long chalk. So there we go, that is it for today's episode. I have to say I very much enjoyed that game, and if that's an indicator of the improvements or the changes that they have made to Pro Evolution Soccer with this data pack, then I'm very, very happy to see it indeed. I can't speak for the fact that I know exactly what changes they've made. Obviously they made some slight changes because of issues that people were having with Roberto Carlos in the, oh god, what is it now? My Club, that's right. And also Pavel Nedved, I believe, was another player who was affected by these issues. That has now been fixed. I don't know if Data Pack 8, because it came so soon after 7, whether or not it might be the case that the data pack is purely a fix for some technical issues as well as a few extra faces. But I feel like those are the sort of things that could be fixed without a whole new data pack. So I don't know. Shrug of shoulders. We'll just have to see what comes out about it from people that know more than myself. So if you want to know more about that, as always, you can check out the guys like the True Brits, or you can check out Spoony Pizzas. There's plenty of PES YouTubers out there who deserve your views, who will know a little bit more about it than I in that particular sense. That is not to say that I don't want your views and I don't appreciate your views. Today is a special episode because I didn't mention this yet. We have finally broken through the 500 subscriber barrier, and I could not be more proud. I am so happy to have got there in such a short amount of time. Like, I was not expecting to get anywhere near that number for a long time yet. But it just, every day I'm getting these notifications. So and so has subscribed. This person subscribed. This person subscribed. Thank you to everyone who's already subscribed. Everyone that leaves comments, even the ones asking for Become a Legend. And I might do a Become a Legend down the line, but I've seen those messages, I've read them. You don't need to worry. I've seen them and I'll consider it. Become a Legend is something that I have done before and I've enjoyed before. So maybe that is something that we can do down the line. But at the moment, Master League is still my primary focus where it comes to Pro Evolution Soccer. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a like, I guess. Subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get to 1,000 at some point, eh? Why not? That's the new goal. 1,000 subscribers. I'm not going to put a time limit on it because Christ knows I wasn't expecting to get to 500 anywhere near this quick. But yeah, thanks very much for watching. Until next time, take care. Bye bye.